Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on Open Channel Flow. In this video, we will discuss the topic hydraulic jump in horizontal non-rectangular channels. In our last video, we discussed hydraulic jumps in horizontal rectangular channels. In case of non-rectangular channels, the flow in a jump will involve lateral expansion or lateral contraction of the stream as the case may be, in addition to increase in depth. The cross-sectional areas are not linear functions of the depth of flow as in the case of a rectangular channel. These aspects introduce not only computational difficulties in the calculation of the sequent depth ratio but also incorporate structural changes in the jump. However, the solution of hydraulic jumps in horizontal non-rectangular channels are available in literature. Consider a horizontal frictionless channel of any arbitrary shape. The momentum equation for this channel for hydraulic jump will be P1 minus P2 is equal to M2 minus M1. Okay, the weight term and the friction term will be ignored here because here we are considering the horizontal frictionless channel. Okay, in this equation P1 is the pressure force at section 1, that is gamma A1 Y1 prime. P2 is the pressure force at section 2, gamma A2 Y2 prime. M2 is the momentum flux going out through section 2 and its expression is rho Q V2. Similarly, M1 is rho Q V1. Okay. Here gamma is the unit weight of fluid. A1 is the area of flow at section 1. Y1 prime is the depth of CG from the free water surface at section 1. In similar way, we can define A2 and Y2 prime. Rho is the mass density of fluid, Q is the discharge in the channel, V2 is the mean velocity at section 2 and V1 is the mean velocity at section 1. Here we are assuming that beta 1 is equal to beta 2 is equal to 1. That's why the expression of M2 is rho Q V2. Otherwise, it would be beta 2 rho Q V2. Okay. Here we are assuming that the velocity distribution at section 1 and section 2 is uniform. Now let's rearrange this equation. 1 P1 plus M1 is equal to P2 plus M2. From this equation, it is clear that the term P1 plus P plus M is constant at both the section 1 and section 2. And what is P plus M? P is gamma A Y prime and M is rho Q V. Or we can write gamma A Y prime plus rho is mass density, that is nothing but gamma upon G. Q V we can replace by Q divided by A. Okay. Now let's take gamma common from both the term. Then inside the bracket AY prime plus Q square divided by GA. Okay. P plus M. Now divide gamma both the sides because gamma is a constant term. Okay. P plus M divided by gamma is equal to AY prime plus Q square divided by GA. Now look at this term. This is nothing but specific force denoted by PS. Okay. What is specific force? Specific force is the sum of pressure, force and momentum flux per unit weight of liquid at a particular section. The specific force is constant for horizontal frictionless channel. Now, once we find the specific force, what we have to do to find the sequent depth for hydraulic jump in any arbitrary shaped channel. We know that the specific force for a given discharge and the channel geometry is constant. So first of all, we have to draw a curve between a specific force and the depth of flow. Okay, then the shape of curve will look like this. Okay, we have to choose any particular depth and find the PS value. Okay, and in this way we can easily draw this curve. Okay, then there will be two limb in this curve. This is one limb, this is another limb. The lower limb represent the supercritical flow and the upper limb represent the subcritical flow, and the point C, which is the merge of these two limbs, represent the critical flow condition in the channel. Okay, for a particular specific force, the ordinate represent the ordinate cut the curve in at the two point, suppose point A and point B. Okay, so for a particular specific force we will have the two depths. These two depths represent the depth before the jump and after the jump, that is nothing but sequent depths. Okay, so if you have the discharge and the channel geometry, then for any particular depth of flow in the supercritical flow, suppose y1, you can find the sequent depth for this y1, means the depth after the jump, by using this curve. Okay, this curve representing in this case for trapezoidal channel. Okay, here the geometrical parameters are given. The bottom width is 2 and side slope is 1:1.5. Okay, in this way, if these parameters are given, we can easily draw this curve between PS and Y. Now, to find the loss of energy in case of hydraulic jump in non-rectangular channel, EL will be equal to E1 minus E2. In place of total energy, we can use specific energy, because here the channel bottom is horizontal, and the datum we can consider the bed of the channel, and at both the sections the datum energy will be same. E1 minus E2. E1 is Y1 plus V square upon V1 square divided by 2G, and E2 is Y2 plus V2 square divided by 2G. Y1 minus Y2 plus V1 and V2 we can replace by Q divided by A. Then we can take common Q square upon 2G, and inside bracket 1 upon A1 square minus 1 upon A2 square will left. Okay, so this is the expression of loss of energy for this case. Now we come to the hydraulic jumps on a sloping floor. In this case, when hydraulic jump occur, there will be many unknown parameters like weight of the fluid, which involve the length parameter of the jump, and also the profile of the hydraulic jump we need to consider, okay, to find the weight, because in this case we cannot ignore a W term. Here we have the slope of the bed, and that's why the longitudinal component of weight is significant in this case. Okay, so we need additional information in order to solve the momentum equation for the analysis of hydraulic jump occurring in sloping floor. Many attempts have been made by many researchers. Even after that, there is no satisfactory solution is found so far. However, let's take a simple case, that is the rectangular channel, frictionless rectangular channel having bed slope theta with horizontal. Here y1 and y2 are the depth of flow before and after the jump respectively. Lj is the length of jump in the horizontal direction, and in the direction parallel to the or along the bed of the channel, the length of the jump is Lj divided by cos theta. The momentum equation for this case will be P1 minus P2 plus W sine theta is equal to M2 minus M1. As we have considered the frictionless channel, that's why the friction term we are ignoring here. But in this case, we cannot ignore W sine theta because the channel have bad slope. In this case, it is not a horizontal bed. Okay, that's why W sine theta will be significant in this case. What is P1? P1 is gamma A1 Y1 prime, that is gamma A1 is the area of flow at section 1, that is By1, multiply by Y1 prime is the depth of CG from the free water surface at section 1, that is nothing but Y1 divided by 2. One more thing is that here we are assuming the width of the channel as 1. Okay, the unit width of the channel we are considering here. In similar way, P2 is half of gamma yt square. And one more thing is that here the bed of the channel having slope, that's why this pressure force is inclined at theta degree with horizontal. That's why here cos theta term will come. Because this P1 is acting in the horizontal direction. Okay, but we have to take its component in the direction of flow. And M2 is rho Q V1. Since the width of the channel we are considering here unity, that's why capital Q will be equal to small q, because small q is equal to capital Q upon B and B is 1. And we know that Q is equal to V1 Y1 is equal to V2 Y2. That's why here we can substitute the value of V1 by Q divided by Y1, and this term ultimately will become rho Q square divided by Y1. In similar way, M1 is equal to rho Q V2 is equal to rho Q square divided by YT. Now what we have to do, we have to find the weight of the volume of the flood inside control volume. Firstly, let's consider the profile of the hydraulic jump is linear, okay, with joining the depth y1 and yt. Suppose this is the profile, then in that case what will be the area of the jump? Means we are talking about this area. Okay, What is this area? The area of this portion will be area of the jump is equal to half of y1 plus yt into this dimension, that is nothing but Lj divided by cos theta, because this shape is a trapezoidal shape. Okay, hence its area will be half of summation of this depth multiplied by this dimension, Lj divided by cos theta. Now let's introduce one coefficient to account for the curvature of the jump and the cos theta term. As we know here, the curvature is not this profile of the jump is not linear, it is having some different shape. So in order to account this shape of the profile and the cos theta term, we are introducing one coefficient, that is k. Then what would be the weight of the fluid of the control volume? That will be gamma, unit weight of the fluid, multiplied by volume. So gamma multiplied by volume will be this area multiplied by the width of the channel, and width of the channel we are considering as unit. So this will be y1 plus yt divided by 2 multiplied by Lj, and to account the profile of the jump and the cos theta term, we are introducing a coefficient, that is k. Okay, that's why cos theta term we are not taking here, and k is accounting for cos theta as well as the profile of the jump. The momentum flux that we have taken here is rho q square divided by y1 and rho q square divided by yt. So substitute the values of p1, p2, m2 and m1 in this equation, and w also. Then this equation 1 will become half of gamma y1 square cos theta minus half gamma yt square cos theta plus w sin theta. Okay, and w is half of k gamma Lj y1 plus yt sin theta is equal to m2 minus m1. Okay, rho q square divided by yt minus rho q square divided by y1. This equation can be rewritten as half of gamma y1 square cos theta minus yt square cos theta plus k Lj y1 plus yt sin theta is equal to rho q square 1 divided by yt minus 1 divided by y1. On rearranging, this equation will look like yt divided by y1 whole square minus 1 minus k Lj tan theta divided by y1 1 plus yt divided by y1 is equal to 2f1 square divided by cos theta yt divided by y1 minus 1 divided by yt divided by y1. Here f1 is V1 divided by root over G by 1. Okay. Here F1 is not a exact Froude number for the case of sloping floor, because the Froude number for sloping floor is V1 divided by root over G A divided by T, small t, capital T into cos theta. This is the Froude number for the case of sloping floor channel. Okay, and here we are taking F1 is V1 divided by root over G by 1. This is just a convenient non-dimensional parameter we are considering to simplify this equation. Okay. Now after further simplification, this equation will become yt divided by y1 whole cube minus klj tan theta divided by y1 yt divided by y1 whole square minus 1 plus klj tan theta divided by y1 plus 2f1 divided by cos theta yt divided by y1 plus 2f1 square divided by cos theta is equal to 0. Okay, in this equation we multiply yt divided by y1 in both the sides, then this form will be come out. Okay, this equation can be used to estimate the sequent depth ratio by a trial and error procedure if the term klj, okay, this term klj is known. In general, klj can be expected to be a function of f1 and theta. Okay, and its variation can be obtained only through experimental study. The sequent depth yt, that is the depth after the jump in case of sloping floor, is found to be related to y2 as yt divided by y2 is equal to function of theta. Okay, this is a relation between yt and y2 with theta. What is y2? y2 is the sequent depth after the jump in case of horizontal channel. This curve represents the variation of ratio of yt and y2 with theta. Okay, and if tan theta is 0, then obviously yt divided by y2 is equal to 1, means yt is equal to y2, because we are talking about horizontal channel. Tan theta is equal to 0 means horizontal channel. Okay, and as the slope of the bed increases, the ratio yt divided by y2 also increases. It indicates that in case of sloping floor, the hydraulic jump requires more tailwater depth as compared to horizontal channel. Yt divided by y2 is equal to 1.0071 exponential 3.2386 tan theta. This is an approximate relation between yt divided by y2 and theta, okay, which represent this curve. By using this equation, once we know y2, we can easily find yt value. Okay, because finding y2 is not difficult. This is the sequent depth in case of horizontal channel. Now we come to energy loss. Energy loss, that is EL. EL is the difference between the energy at section 1 and section 2, which are before and after the jump. This is section 1 and this is section 2. This is datum head at section 1, this is datum head at section 2. Okay, so what is H1? H1 is specific energy plus datum head at section 1 minus specific energy at section 2 plus datum head at section 2. Okay, what is the difference between the datum head at section 1 and datum head at section 2? From this figure, the difference between the datum head at section 1 and section 2 is this one. Okay, this is the difference between datum head at section 1 and section 2, and this dimension is nothing but this is LJ. Okay, in horizontal, the length of the jump in horizontal direction, and this is theta, hence this dimension will be LJ tan theta. So this we can write as E1 plus dH1 minus dH2 minus E2 is equal to E1 plus the difference between datum head at section 1 and 2 is LJ tan theta minus E2. Okay, and E1 is specific energy, that is nothing but Y1 cos theta plus V1 square divided by 2G plus LJ tan theta minus E2 is specific energy at section 2. Specific energy at section 2 is YT cos theta minus VT square divided by 2G. Okay, by using this equation we can find the loss of energy in case of sloping floor. If it is required to find the relative energy loss, then in that case we use EL divided by H1. This is the relative energy loss in case of sloping floor. Okay, instead of specific energy we have to use here total energy, because the floor is sloping, okay, not a horizontal. So in this video we covered hydraulic jump occurring in horizontal non-rectangular channel and hydraulic jump occurring on sloping floor. In the next video we will move to the next topic of rapidly varied flow. Thank you.